Well, hello. I haven't seen you in a long time. So it's definitely Saturday, and I think it's March 22nd. Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. That's Saint. Big stretch. So it's very nice to be back. I've been, come on, buddy, yep. All right. There's Big Saint and Daisy back there. I don't know if you can see Brownie too. So just, the last, I don't know how long it's been since I posted a video, but at least a month, but just this transformation of my consciousness, which we all get to do, right? We're all doing this, right? So let's talk about it. Let's, it's a real thing. It's probably the reality is how I perceive things is the reality. So as negative thoughts come into my mind, I'm like, I notice them pretty quickly, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there you are again. Let's not spend an hour on this thinking and digging myself into this mental hole. Whatever the negative thought might be, usually it has a lot to do with what other people think of me. Like, I don't know, I might say something when I was hiking with the meetup group. Just wonderful hike last weekend. I think it was Sunday we went. Just amazing. And, complete strangers, like 9 or 10 of us. And I might say something that is like an earnest kind of a thing, right? We're all unique. I got my unique stuff, and nothing offensive, just, and people might look at me funny. And then later on, I'll think about that. I'm like, oh, I wonder what they thought of me. And I can easily have that thought for all day long. And beat myself up about it. So 59 years, I turned 59 in February. So 59 years, probably at least 50 years of doing it that way. And I'm finally making progress on booting out those thoughts sooner than later and replacing them with good thoughts. And so as I'm more successful at that, then my whole world starts to change. My whole reality starts to change. If I would spend 8 hours on these negative thoughts, then I'm missing everything around me, because this is what I'm focusing on. I'm dwelling on those thoughts. I'm missing all the other stuff. And it seems like the antidote is to quickly notice that and replace it with a positive thought. Now my mind is back on a positive thought, positive wavelength. And then that positive thought I'm thinking to as an antidote to the negative thought, that could only last a minute. And I can start thinking of other things, but the other things I'm thinking about are further positive things. So it's like the noticing of the negative thought and replacing it with the positive thought, this antidote, is like a lift up, like the light. Our God, our Creator, is grabbing me a hand and lifting me up and putting me back on a plane, and I can operate on that plane. And then a negative thought comes in, and it's like, now I jump down to this lower plane of these negative thoughts. And again, if I'm able to notice it quickly and say, let me throw in a positive thought, the light, the Creator, grabs me and pulls me back up on this plane. So as I'm operating on this plane for longer and longer period of time throughout my day, my existence is now, my reality is now that, and not so much down here. And I'm able to see things that I've really never seen before, or I haven't seen very often, because I have to be in that positive mind frame in order to notice these things. The fruit, I bought fruit the other day, and just this morning I'm looking at it, and like these 2 apples with all of these mandarin oranges, and then there's a couple of onions there too. What a combination. And it's just like, I stopped for a second. I'm like, wow. What a beautiful reality we live in. When most of the time I wouldn't even think that way. It was just like, I want an apple. I'm going to cut up the apple, peel the orange, and just randomly and blindly just eat it. So it has the same thing to do with the tree. And then it also has to do with people as I engage with people. It's just like, oh my gosh, what did they think about what I just said right now? Negative thought, positive thought. Oh my gosh, they didn't say anything at all, which means they're thinking positive about what I just said. Now I'm back on that plane. Boom, boom, boom. So I imagine we're all going through this, right? We're all doing this. So, all right. So I'm going to read a little bit of Knowing God's Plan. Hello, can you see that? Spiritually hungry, right? Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, the precise system through which God directs every aspect of existence. So I'm on page 315, chapter 6, part 1, and the heading is Specific Aspects of Evil. Before Adam sinned, he was crowned with such great holiness and glory that the ministering angels tried to say before him, holy. Okay, so the ministering angels tried to say before him, Adam, holy. As our sages said in the Midrash, Bereshis Rabbah 8, verse 10. Since he was God's most precious creation, he, God, possessed incredible knowledge. No, not he, God. He, Adam, possessed incredible knowledge and holiness and every imaginable kind of desirable quality. Consequently, his actions had an immensely powerful effect on all the worlds. So, before Adam sinned, he was crowned with such great holiness and glory that the ministering angels tried to say before him, holy, to Adam. As our sages said in the Midrash, since he was God's most precious creation, he possessed incredible knowledge and holiness and every imaginable kind of desirable quality. So that's us, right? We're Adam. We're Adam. And so at that point of our existence, our souls, look at who we were. We still are, but you know how the system went awry. He, us, possessed incredible knowledge and holiness in every imaginable kind of desirable quality, made in God's image. Consequently, his actions, Adam, had an immensely powerful effect on all the worlds. So these worlds that our God created to manifest Adam and Eve and everything after that, and Adam being made with such incredible knowledge and holiness and every imaginable kind of desirable quality, I imagine as these worlds, as Adam manifested through these worlds, came down, I'm going to say, down through these worlds to become Adam, it's like the worlds are so holy and Adam is so holy, right? And it's just like, wow, what an amazing, amazing creation. And it would make sense that once that consequently his actions had an immensely powerful effect on all the worlds. I agree, significant effect. All these holy worlds and this holy, essence, Adam, it's just like now he's sinned. It's just like that's got to muddy the waters of all that. Ugh. So because he was so exalted, his deeds were certainly far more exalted and elevated than any of man's deeds since then. Because Adam was so exalted, his deeds, right? I guess his actions Maybe it means speech too, speech and actions. I don't know. It doesn't say speech. His deeds since then. So because he was so exalted, his deeds were certainly far more exalted. Sure, Adam is exalted, so his deeds are exalted. Probably his speech is exalted and elevated. Sure, his how he emanates himself is going to be exalted and elevated. And it says more exalted and elevated than any of man's deeds since then. So I guess that sounds like that sounds like a reference to, like, if Adam came in 6,000 years ago, what about mankind that was before Adam? It sounds to me like they're referencing that right now when he says, his deeds were certainly far more exalted and elevated than any of man's deeds since then. Man existed before Adam, right? Because we have this timeline of 6,000 years, and we are in 5,700 and something right now. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Nevertheless, had he just adhered to God's commandment, he would have ascended to an even higher level. Okay, so as Adam comes through these beautiful, exalted worlds, boom, there you are, Adam. And so the next step, Adam, is adhere to God's commandment, not plural, commandment. And you will ascend to an even higher level. It's like, man, are you kidding me? What, I get to go back up this chain of worlds? I don't know how that works, but without ever needing to die, he obviously could have attained in the beginning the level mankind will reach only after the resurrection of the dead. So without ever, okay, so nevertheless, had he just adhered to God's commandment, he would have ascended to an even higher level, period. Without ever needing to die, comma. He obviously could have attained in the beginning the level mankind will reach only after the resurrection of the dead. And so we have two footnotes here. Number 17. Somebody pulling into the RV park I'm at. Beautiful RV park. We're supposed to get some thunder and lightning in a little while. Okay. 17 says, the Midrash says that when the ministering angels first saw Adam after he was created, they were so overcome by his splendor that momentarily they made a mistake and thought that he was the one they should honor. Oh, and this 17 comes right after this. Before Adam sinned, he was crowned with such great holiness and glory that the ministering angels tried to say before him, holy. That's reserved only for our God, our Creator, holy. But the ministering angels and then 17 here says, the Midrash says that when the ministering angels first saw Adam after he was created, they were so overcome by his splendor. I'll tell you, isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, that's us. That momentarily they made a mistake and thought that he was the one they should honor. Amen. And then 18 here, this comes after the statement, without ever needing to die. He obviously could have attained in the beginning the level mankind will reach only after the resurrection of the dead. And then 18 refers to that. Since his actions had such an incredibly powerful effect, had he withstood his one test in Gan Eden, he could have perfected the entire world right away and achieved what it would take his offspring thousands of years to accomplish. Harav Chaim Friedlander. Okay, so since his actions had such an incredibly powerful effect, had he withstood his one test in Gan Eden, he could have perfected the entire world right away and achieved what it would take his offspring thousands of years to accomplish. Since his actions had such an incredibly powerful effect, had he withstood his one test in Gan Eden. Okay, it sounds like what they're saying is it would have worked the opposite. Since his sin had such powerful effect on the whole system, it stands to reason that if he would not have sinned, then it would have had an equally or even more of an incredibly power effect in the other direction, which would mean to perfect the entire world right away. Wow. 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 So, yeah, 16 minutes. I don't know. Let me see if we can go on. However, even though Adam was so much more elevated than mankind is today, he was still susceptible to destruction through sinning. He was susceptible to destruction through sinning and bringing death upon himself, as in fact happened. Had he adhered to God's commandment, he would have completely perfected himself. He would have become immortal and impervious to the effects of evil. So it sounds like he was, even though he was, as they say here, he was crowned with great holiness and glory. He was God's most precious creation. He possessed incredible knowledge and holiness and every imaginable kind of desirable quality. Even though that all existed, he was still impervious to the effects of evil. Because only if he would have adhered to God's commandment, then he would have completely perfected himself. He would have become immortal and impervious to the effects of evil. So it stands to reason that he wasn't impervious to the effects of evil yet. Yet when he sinned, and since he was impervious, he was not impervious to the effects of evil, he was able to sin. But he hadn't sinned yet. Yet when he did sin, when he sinned, not only did he fail to gain what he could have gained, but he even lost what he already possessed. Like an emptying. What a beautiful, beautiful creation. And when he sinned, it wasn't just that it's like, oh, you don't get to go any further. No. Not only do you not get to go any further, but you lose everything that you started out with. He descended to the lowly and shameful level of contemporary man. I think that's us. This is what the verse describes. Quote, Adam did not maintain his glorious level until the following day. He has become like the animals. Tehillim 49, verse 13. This is what the verse describes. So, Adam did not maintain his glorious level until the following day. Semicolon, he has become like the animals, end quote. I don't know why it says Adam did not maintain his glorious level until the following day. The following day is when he maintained his glorious level. And then semicolon, he has become like the animals. I'm not sure I understand that. So that's the end of the paragraph. And so, 20 minutes. All right. Love and light, friends. That was nice. At least I hope so. All right. So I'm not going to think that way. Positive thoughts.